Hello viewers, and how are you? Good afternoon. Welcome again to this episode of our program titled Taking Care of your Psycho-Spiritual Well-Being. Kind of a model of a biopsychosocial-techno-spiritual well-being. My name is Father Joyce Pius Segunjobi, and welcome again to Capuchin TV. Today, we'll be talking about something that we can't do without today in this our world today. Something that has been so close to us that sometimes when accident happens, the first thing we want to think about is about that. And it's about technology. So we are going to be talking today about how technology affects us and how it's useful for us. Technology and health is the topic for today. Some time ago, somebody just approached me and said, how can technology affect our health? Is it not that technology is supposed to actually help us to do things better, to make life easier, to give us comfort, and to save us from unnecessary travelings and disturbances? Technology. Technology advancement has been something that has started since 1844 with the advent of, especially in 1876, with advent of telephone. And we know that when telephone came, it was like a wow. Of course, for those of us who have watched it on movie, even though we're not alive at that time, you see the funny way they carry the telephone. I was watching a video clip recently and I seen a child of this age trying to carry our landline phone and does not know how it operates because all that the child knew was the cell phone, not the landline. By 1880, we have the advent of light bulbs. And by 1927, wow, television came into play. I can remember the black and white. I met that. And before we start having a colored TV, now we have smart TV and the rest. And in the 1970s, they came about the personal computer that we use. I remember when I started using computer myself. That was in around 1987, 88, 89. Everything was just monochrome. Either it's a green screen or the yellow screen or the red screen. And there was nothing like hard disk on it. We used floppy disk. Within a short time, it has grown so much that we are not even talking about just using the floppy or talking about 5 or 10 megabyte that used to be on the computer at that time. We're not talking about terabytes. Again, in the same 1970s, we start talking about the global positioning system, where on the globe they can actually locate a particular site, a location. And that come up to be another wow into the world where we can actually get in touch with a lot of things. Then, by 1973, wow, the internet. In the 1990s, we begin to talk about the GPS navigation. I remember my first time being in America, and then we have to drive from Los Angeles. We're going to Ontario, California. And the car was the one directing us, turn left, turn right. You know, now it's so easy that you want to go anywhere, you just have to move with that. Now, you want to talk about the digital camera? My first digital camera was 1.3 pixels. I can remember that it was a wow thing then. Today we talk about, 24, 40 megapixels. Anyway, this is just to talk about how we are advancing. It's not only in terms of electronics that we use alone. In the medical setting, it's the same thing. In the mechanical engineering, have a lot of things that they work on. In the military, there are a lot of things that they use today that they are not even available to us. And these have made our life easier. The one that is very close to everyone that I'll be talking about briefly later on is the cell phone. Cell phone has become part of us, and that is why in my holistic model, I always call it a biopsycho-socio-techno-spiritual. You know, biopsycho-socio-techno-spiritual well-being, because technology also affects us. It makes our lives better, and of course, it can make our lives miserable. Technology have done so much in the area of in the medical line, like I said earlier, that you can now actually have what we call robotic surgery. That they can use robot to perform surgery on somebody. They can actually drill a little hole on your tummy and begin to operate or do some surgery inside of you without necessarily opening you up. That's what technology has done. And I bet you a lot of people are actually carrying machines in their hearts, helping them to have the heartbeat. Technology. In the mental health setting, we know that I don't necessarily have to go to the counselor's office to have assessment today. I can do a lot of assessment on the internet. And apart from that, I can have my therapy done via the internet, online, virtual. In educational setting, it is the same thing. Of course, this time of COVID-19 have exposed us to the importance of technology in our lives. Like I said, in the classrooms, you have to do the virtual classrooms. Now, I don't have to be with my students. The students don't have to be with the lecturer. You don't have to be in the classroom, at the comfort of your home, and there you are. You know, there you are, attending your classes, writing exams, and getting your results without stepping into the classroom. I said, this time of COVID actually have opened us to that. In terms of our socialization, it is the same. I don't have to just bump into you into your house without informing you that I'm coming, because I can always call to know whether you are around or not. So I don't have to travel without getting to know that you are around. Wow, what a life. What a life. And of course, with our video calls, you know, social media, and many other things, we are more connected every day. That people that are far off are just very close to us. And we can see each other, and we can laugh with one another, and we can share our joys and our sorrows, and we can even transfer money to ourselves without going to the bank. Technology. And also, when we talk about all this, technology has also in fact been helpful for us in the area of our religion, our spirituality, our religiousness. How do I mean? Of course, I don't even have to explain that. We have experienced a long time of lockdown of the churches and mosques and the temples and wherever they are, because of we have to keep social distancing, or actually to avoid people gathering together. And a lot of people have been watching mass or the worshiping online. I bet you just need to go on Facebook, on Instagram, on the LinkedIn, or go to on the WhatsApp, or go wherever you want to go to. You just see a lot of clips going on about Word of God, sharing of the Word of God, the Mass, homilies, and all those things are part of the things that are part of us. Technology. I can tell you that technology is a blessing to mankind. However, we need to remember that God gave us these gifts. And we don't have to think it is all about us. In one of my books, I wrote that God has created everything in nature. It is for man to discover. And we are still discovering. And we are discovering these things to make our lives better. I repeat, God has made everything in nature. It is for us to discover. And we are still discovering. And our discovery can take us far. We have not even started in the way we use technology. I used to tell my students that don't be surprised if tomorrow you begin to hear that human beings can make human beings. Don't think it is not possible. It is very possible. With our understanding of the DNA, of our genetic codes, of the genomes, whatever, all the things we are discovering today, the sky is just the beginning. But notwithstanding, man should not be too full of himself, because all that this is out of something. Man will always create out of something. It is only God that can create out of nothing. I repeat, man will always create out of something. From what we have before, we continue to develop. And like Christ says, be perfect, like your Heavenly Father is perfect, so also we are moving towards perfection every day. But what we consider perfect today becomes imperfect tomorrow. Dear viewers, that is what technology has done to us. It has actually opened our world. When we come back after the break, we will be talking about what other side has technology. Because if it's this beautiful, we have to remember that, like St. Paul says, not all that is good, that is profitable. Not all that is good, that is profitable. Again, when we come back, we'll look at that.
The Psychospiritual Therapy Institute, which we of the Luke Stera Leadership Foundation, in collaboration with Monsieur Haken, have set up, is a project that I am very excited about, and I am very happy that I am part of the birthing of this project. It is aimed at healing of pastoral agents that run into problem on account of widespread trauma, on account of burnout, on account of addictions, and all kinds of problems that pastoral agents do have. But with this project of the Psychospiritual Institute, we shall now be training experts in psychospiritual therapy who will be available in various countries, various dioceses and congregations to help their colleagues who are in difficult life situations of an emotional and psychological nature.
Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back again. And my name is Joyce Pius Egunjobi, a Reverend Father. And I've been talking to us today about technology and our health. Before we went on break, I was just talking about, how this technology came by and how we are developing every day, and how it has really helped us to navigate our world and making our lives more easy. We are becoming more comfortable. Things are becoming simpler. But I ended on the note that not everything that is good, that is profitable. I repeat, not everything that is good, that is profitable. And I did say also that while man is still developing a lot of things and advancing every day, we should also not forget that all that man has made have been made out of what is already being created. Because God has put everything in nature, but it is for man to discover, and we are still discovering. So when man begin to make human being tomorrow, don't be surprised. Yet man will only be able to do that out of what already has been, whether through our genes or whatever it is. But it's only God that can actually make things out of nothing. So, beside what we talk about the technology, we know it also affects us. It affects us biopsychosocial, spiritually. It affects our health, physical health. It affects our mental health. It affects our socialization. It affects our spirituality. Yeah, we can't do without it. I remember one day I had to assist a particular person in an accident scene. And after rescuing the person, meanwhile, this person's brother is still in the bush, who is dead there. But the first thing this person was asking was, where's my phone? Again, we are so attached to it so much that we think we can't do without. You can begin to ask yourself, yesterday, before you slept yesterday night, what was the first thing you touched? Or the last thing, rather, that you touched? When you woke up this morning, what is the first thing you touch? Your phone. Phone. Smartphone. Smartphone has become part of our lives. And I don't want to go into other areas of technology that have affected us, but I just want to focus on the one that we are so familiar with. It has become part of our lives so much that we feel it's part of our dressing. That if somebody is going to the church or going to work and forgets the phone, it's like the whole life is scattered. That shouldn't be. We should learn how to actually detach from this because, again, they affect us in different ways. I start from biologically. Biologically, your phone affects you in such a way that the time you spend holding the phone into your ear, there are radiations that begin to actually transfer between the phone and your cells. And they can be damaging. There have been researches that have been done to tell whether there's an effect of the phone that we use on our brain. So I'm going to let you watch a little clip. It's just about 2 minutes clip to tell you this.
More than 2/3 of Americans have cell phones, but there's long been a question, does heavy
BBC News, so watch out for it. Watch it.
More than 2/3 of Americans have cell phones, but there's long been a question, does heavy cell phone use hurt human health? Lindsay Davis reports on a major new study which for the first time shows cell phones do seem to have some mysterious effect on the brain.
Some are calling the study a landmark event in our understanding of how cell phones affect the human body. 47 participants had cell phones placed on their left and right ears. One cell phone was activated but muted, the other was turned off. After 50 minutes, the researchers took PET scans of the subjects. Look at what they found. The image on the left shows what happened when the cell phone was turned on. The most active areas are in red. Notice the upper right part of the brain. That's the area closest to the antenna. Compare that with this image on the right of the same subject when they had their cell phones turned off. The researchers were hoping to determine if the radiation from the cell phones had any physiological impact at all.
I confess that after the findings, I changed my behavior. So now I use it on a speakerphone. I just put a wire on my earphones.
For years, studies have tried to link cell phones and cancer, but they've been inconclusive. Experts say this new study offers perhaps the first real step in the search for an answer.
This is a study that is interesting and will almost certainly provoke additional studies.
We have a responsibility to investigate whether there are or there are not long-lasting consequences from repeated stimulation after 5 or 10 years of cell phone exposure.
CTIA, the Wireless Trade Association, told us the leading global health organizations have overwhelmingly indicated that wireless devices are not a public health risk. Still, an editorial accompanying the study said that the findings warrant further investigation.
And it sure gets your attention.
Yes.
Thank you, Lindsay.
That is what we are talking about. You see, it has an effect on our body. And let me tell you in an experiment, if you don't understand what I'm talking about here, there's what we call the radio waves. There's radiation. As any of you, maybe I need to teach you this. When you are, for those of us who drive around, who have a car, maybe you mistakenly lock your car key inside the car. For those cars that have automatic locks, and they can actually, without you locking it, can lock itself. And probably your car key with the remote control is inside the car, and then it locks. You can open your door without asking anybody to come and break the door. You just need to call somebody at home who has the access to the extra key. The extra remote control for your car, or remote lock of your car. When you call the person, you just have to tell that person from wherever the person is, whether the person is in the US, or is in Europe, or is in Australia, and you are here in Nairobi. Just stand like 1 foot away from your car. Hold your phone, the person is with the phone, and the person just put the remote control on the mouthpiece of your phone and try to open the door from that place. Press the unlock button. Guess what? Your car door will open. How is that possible? Because through the radio waves, the remote control, wherever it is placed, will actually be activated through your phone that is close to the door. That is possible because of the radio waves. So if that is possible, you cannot imagine what it will do on your body. That is in terms of what it can do to your body. In terms of what it can do to your mental health, one is that, it can actually cause what you call cognitive loss. Your line of thought can be affected in the sense that because you are too entangled with the phone, you are actually disconnected from people, and you are thinking less about what is around you. You are focusing on the phone every now and then. So one of the greatest things, apart from this cognitive loss that it has done, is this disconnection. This disconnection is disconnection from yourself. You get disconnected from yourself. You get disconnected from others around you. And you get disconnected even from God. How many of you have been to a restaurant recently and you see families gather together? What do you see? Father is busy on the phone. Mother is busy on the phone. Children are busy on the phone. We no longer have interaction. That is causing more harm than good for us today. And of course, through our phones, we have become too addicted to a lot of programs that all we think about is that program, either it's the video game or the chat, or you are just scrolling on the Facebook, that people around you no longer have effect. So it has a great effect on your mental health. It can even cause you anxiety, the messages you read, and it can cause you depression. It can break your relationship with your husband, with your wife. How many times have you seen husband and wife sitting together or be on the same bed, and two of them are busy communicating with somebody else, laughing and chatting away, and they forget about the person that is very close to them? Also, your spirituality can be affected. Apart from being a disconnection, by the time you are doing something on your phone and you forget the time for church, or you forget the time for the mosque, or you forget the time you are supposed to do something to help somebody else, don't you know it has taken all over you? So our life, yes, is good, awesome with technology, but we need to be very careful about what it does to us physically, mentally, relationally, and of course, spiritually. That's why we say technology is good, but not all the time profitable. It is very good, but not all the time profitable. Remember this if you don't remember anything. The phone is yours. You are not the phone's. What does that mean? You own your phone does not own you. Take control of the technology. Do not let the technology take control of you. Then you will be able to be physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually healthy. Once again, I hope you enjoy this program, because then technology and your health. When I'm talking about health, we're not just talking about the medical area, it's your total self. Take control of your life, take control of your phone, take control of your path to life, and be happy.